the idea. I like it too. It's a classical composition, right?
Yeah.
So the lyrics. Let me do those real quick. And then, we can, like I said yesterday, we can scrap all of this. And then somehow transition into. That would be distorted maybe to make it feel like it went somewhere. It's crescendoing toward. You don't think so?
I don't know, man. I don't know if we need electric. I don't know.
Not even a clean electric, just
maybe, I don't
stick
know.
with this?
Yeah, I think, well, you might want to reinforce it with like some sort of electric, but I don't think we need distortion necessarily. It's beautiful. I just love the resonant sound of it, right? So I don't know.
What does it feel like it's about to you, though? Like, it feels to me like contemplative and ethereal, of the cosmos.
Yeah.
And that's the reason not to do distorted electric guitar, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I agree.
The vibe is... I mean, we should try it to see what it sounds like. It might be perfect. It might be so wrong it's right. But from first principles...
I mean... I don't have a clear sense either of how to get to. They sound like they go together to me, but. So that's what I'm trying to link. I'm calling it a bridge, but it's probably be like a pre-chorus in lyrical terms.
That sounded
fine
to me.
Really? I don't think we need a bridge. I think what you have is a space, and then
do it again. I will.
Let me do both, and then you decide between you.
That's what's happening. Is you're going from 4/4 to 3/4.
1, 2. It's going to waltz times.
Yes.
It has to.
It's
what it sounds like.
I mean, that to me is why the two parts sound like if I heard those two parts together, I thought, oh, they need something to connect them. The problem is that it's going 4/4 to 3/4. But that's not going to be. We're not going to fix that by doing 7/8.
No, I mean the only way to fix that is something like you could do it 3/4 count off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good catch, by the way. I didn't even notice that it changed the time signature.
I mean, the question is, can you change one of the parts? I mean, the easier thing to do to make it congruous would be to rearrange it so that you decide whether you want it to be 3/4 or 4/4. rhythmically, the way you ended the first. So in my head, that was 4 things. There's 4 chords basically there. Yes or no?
I mean, I'm landing on. It's all in
Okay.
A.
Well,
And I'm
okay.
landing on-
There's
the places where I'm really hanging out are 4 different distinct.
yes. So if we break it into the 4 bits, at the end of the first and second bits, you did something interesting rhythmically that you then reverted to the more sort of straightforward and, to my mind, boring on the 3rd and 4th.
So we want to hit. We recorded it, fortunately.
No, so the first 2 was interesting. No, you played exactly what you played before. And that part I like. That part I like. Boring. Oh well, that was boring as well. So maybe you did the 3rd one different that time. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so you like the first 2. Those are locked in. I got that.
Yes, there is this serious constraint, but nonetheless the ability to do something small but beautiful, or whatever. Like, so that we feel constraint all the time. But is that only a constraint? Is that like, as it were, like crush us? No, the Firefly is not. The Firefly can still provide light in the dark.
No, and in some ways, I mean, depending on what we want to do, if we even want to stick with that image or that theme, you can find hope in the realization of the limitations that we experience. Like, there's a lot of folks who get paralyzed when they're looking at a blank page, right? But when they have a prompt, they can do, it's no problem, right? Once they...
You're sounding dangerously close to stoicism. When I was a kid, I put fireflies in jars.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like Hot Summer Night is what I think is about Summer Night, because I'm the main character of the universe.
They never... they don't live long inside of jars,
Right.
So it's...
I actually don't remember if I would you really... I can't remember if I really would release them. I remember, like, hammering nails into the...
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, they'll need to breathe.
They'll need to breathe, but that doesn't, like...
Doesn't feed them.
Yeah, exactly. So...
I mean, in some respects, the story is about perceiving the limitations that you face and figuring out a way to do it all differently, while at the same time, to some extent, still producing something that's recognizably a guitar. So I'm going to point it at the camera. A guitar like this has an X here, and then a couple braces here, and you can kind of see it inside the sound hole right here. This was an innovation at one point. The X brace was an innovation on the ladder brace. The ladder brace was basically just braces like this. But the X brace allowed this to move more freely so that you got more sound and a different sound. So his basic idea is, I don't want to just modify it in something, make it as light as it can be to make it louder or whatever. I want something radically different. And that's what he does, is he sees a Nautilus shell in the market one day and sees that Fibonacci pattern and decides, oh wow, I wonder if that would work.
So, okay, if the idea is about a being or a character, an agent who pursues perfection at all costs and ends up paying lots of those costs, I don't know if Firefly and Jar is the thing.
I think we could bring the Firefly and the jar back in, but I don't know if that's the main image.
You said you thought you could bring the Firefly. We could bring it back in, but it's not.
I could fit it into the song, but you got. There's all these constraints that we face. And there's 8 tones in Western music, right? And yet, people who are really amazing can take those same 8 basic tones and create all kinds of shit. Like really,
it's
really
infinite,
great.
right?
Yeah. Even though the permutations are not necessarily, right?
But really, this this song, I mean, the shit came out in the course of ironing out this story, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to relate to the story. We want it to be something different.
So, why are fireflies bioluminescent? Again, I honestly don't know.
It's fucking magic, man.
It's magic. They call it not magic.
Come on, fairy dust.
I mean, what's the biological purpose of bioluminescence?
That's how they find each other to mate.
Okay.
I've watched a couple videos with my kids about fireflies. Because my younger son was scared of them, and I was trying to get him to not. It was like, it's fine if you want to be afraid, but just so you know, they're real friendly, they're nice. So we watched some videos, and there's a pattern to their blinking too. It feels to me like, in relation to something that vast, it's inconsequential in a kind of way. Yeah. And yet it happens. It existed. And I feel like with the fireflies and jars thing, if I was a firefly in a jar and I was cognizant of my bondage, I would flash on anyway, because fuck you. You know? I mean, I think what I was thinking was, a lot of our songs have an element of attention to injustice, and then a hopeful element too, right? So Will to Smile starts with Auschwitz, but you'll never take my will to smile, right? And in my mind, that's what distinguishes part of what we do from other musicians who write songs that are about social issues, is in the old, Leadbelly and Pete Seeger tradition, we've actually got, like, here's some fucked up stuff, and also, right? So I think that's kind of where my mind was probably at, was if I'm trapped in a jar, I'm still going to do my thing, even though.
So read the line. So it's firefly.
Yeah, so it's in my soul a dream that no one's seen. I lie awake and wonder if it can be. That's clearly coming from the storm, right? The fate of everything beneath the stars, where whispers to the thunder, fireflies in jars.
So we need to take the. Right? And so in this case, there are people who hit the zenith with stuff, and they survive, and they live on, and they get to see some sort of rewards, or they get to see the thing actualized and everything else. Then there are people who just die, right? Who are die or killed.
Let me make a note.
Who sacrifice, But I think
the risk thing, I think, is really that's an interesting angle.
Risk something, right? To get out.
And how many of the people who died, you don't even know their names, right?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a Black Door 74 song to me.
That sounds like a Black Door 74.
The thought I had is like the continued whisper to the thunder, but then one day or something, the thunder whispers back or something like that. I don't know the right way to say it.
I'll write it down. One day the thunder whispers back.
I don't know. If we stick with that, I like that idea.
Of the change happening?
Yeah,
like this,
yeah,
there's
there's something absolutely ridiculous and impossible. And then, but one day, what the hell? Like, everything is upside down.
Yeah.
And the irrational audacity actually pays off.
If you both like this angle, like I said, I think it sounds like a Black Door 74 song to me, then we figure out. I love the addition of the risk thing, the belief that defies reason. I don't think we can use audacity of hope, but I like that as a guidepost, right? That's a cool idea for a song, I think.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have come up with this alone. I wouldn't have gotten to. This goal is fucking nuts. This is impossible. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna do it anyway. So, what was your whole line, Greg?
So, I lie awake. So, in my soul, a dream that no one's ever seen. I lie awake and wonder if it can be, or am I trapped behind the bars, where whispers to the thunder, fireflies and bars. I mean, maybe I don't know how the meter would work out, but something in that, like, I have a dream. Can it be possible, or am I in prison?
So start with to find the secret pattern beyond the stars.
No, the fireflies and juniors.
Oh. Which one?
So
we start.
We would start.
Whispers to the thunder. But would you want to start there too, Greg? With to find the secret pattern beyond the stars?
No.
It feels like backtracking if we go back to In My Soul a Dream.
Yeah.
But we could reach
No,
those
no,
two.
that's the wrong track.
And we still don't know what the fuck the hook is. Like, what's the central message? Because I don't think Fireflies and Jars, which appears in a verse right now, is going to be the thing that we land on. You know, that's one image that helps us to drive toward whatever the central thing would be.
Another language. So maybe the thing is to get you have to hold these narratives. You have to write these narratives. You have to write these narratives to hold the contradiction, right? So these two opposing ideas that form the contradiction. You have to continually make these choices and write this narrative, or else the possibilities represented by them pull apart.
Yeah.
And then you have nothing. And sometimes that shit happens, okay? But if you can hold them long enough and write the story deep enough, then the impossible becomes real.
Can you think of an example?
So I was going to say, in your great ends example, what is the contradiction that she's holding in her mind?
That she could be, that there was a place for her to be a trailblazer.
Right.
Right?
So that's one.
Okay, and on the other side is, there's no way in hell that she can be a trailblazer in this environment.
And that's what I'm wondering about. Is like, do you feel like she had to have that in her mind as well?
So,
or like, what would the ridiculous dream not be enough?
So it's. Exactly. I just need a head injury every time I play. Okay. So yeah, just.
Isn't that what happened to Doc with the flux capacitor?
Yes, he got hit in the head, and then I drew this.
Yep.
Right. By the way, you can buy a cigarette lighter flux capacitor.
So it like makes the transition to the rock before reaching all the way to the chorus. That's why I think it's.
But where would we put it?
That's what I'm saying. Classical intro, thing without a home, chorus the first, verse the first, chorus the second, verse the second.
And then we do the chorus again and end on those last two lines of the verse.
Oh.
That's what I'm suggesting is we do verse 1 and verse 2, and then we come back to this last two lines.
Okay, I'll be honest, I think that undercuts. Like the last line is so good. Don't do anything afterwards.
Whisper becomes a roar.
Yeah, I think we just like and you do that one like by yourself or maybe with
I'm just saying it bears repeated twice.
Right, but I think if you put a chorus in between it, it's like you do the grand finale and you're like, oh, we have this other thing, and then let's do the grand finale again. It's my humble opinion, and I'm happy to be on it. So that's just my gut feeling.
What I'm struggling with, honestly, is I feel like that line is so strong that it should be its own fucking song.
Or it's
and
just
it's not in the chorus.
It's the key of that's when you make it last. It's because then it is the.
I mean, great songs have a lot of they have great lines all over. You know.
Yeah.
There's about Cohen's best images. You know, they appear once, and it's like, damn, fuck you.
Yeah.
Wish I'd written that. So you're suggesting, let's just pretend I did the intro and. And then go to. To craft a story that can't be told, to start a fire that never goes cold. Three, four.
Oh. Okay.
So let me try that again. I'm just gonna do the last one.
I think that last line is worth repeating.
I agree. I just think it should be said and repeated, as opposed to
Just
said,
do it twice.
chorused, and repeated. I'm imagining we play the last line together all at once, and then you play by yourself the last line of the second one.
I see.
That's what I was.
So we would. Until one day the whisper becomes a roar. Until one day the whisper becomes a roar.
I should have stopped.
Yeah, I got you. But that's how you both like it? I feel like I hear you.
I can be outvoted. It's totally fine.
I
know my taste
feel like
over
we
here.
kind of fucked up here a little bit because I'm feeling like verse 2, lines 3 and 4
Are the strongest part of the song.
and they most encapsulate the central thing.
So then should that be the chorus? And then what's currently the chorus gets reworked into verse 2.
But I also really like impossible hope, unreachable goal. It's decidedly not a crescendo moment though. It's like, it's different, it's dissonant, it's interesting, but the contradictions we ride to the shore until one day the whisper becomes a roar. Why don't we just try once? Unreachable goal. Until the day whisper becomes a roar.
Oh, so we're not. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
I thought you were going to repeat
We
it one more
did
time.
it,
Yeah.
by the way.
Ish.
I mean, especially for, we started this shit like basically today.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty.
Nope. That's good. But so we do want one at the end. Not two.
One, not two, one.
We just, yeah.
You did the line once.
Oh, yeah, I totally spaced on that.
That's great. I thought it sounded right.
Just
I
how
thought it was fine like that. Yeah.
Yeah.